Hi there, and a very warm welcome to the Circuit de Catalunya just outside Barcelona at the end of day one of the second Formula One pre-season test. For the first time this pre-season, the cars have been in action on an actual Grand Prix circuit, which is rubbering in well, but also, as you can see too, is certainly marbling up. And for the first time as well this pre-season, all the cars have been new cars. But in terms of the fans that came here today, well, there was only one man they'd come to see. Of course, Fernando Alonso was that man. Spain's double world champion was having his first time in the car of 2013, having missed the first test in Jerez. Meanwhile, the last of this year's new cars came out from under wraps. Williams unveiled the FW35, driven on the first day by Pastor Maldonado. Maldonado would finish the day fifth fastest on the timesheets, having completed 86 laps. He was just behind Sebastian Vettel, who'd been fastest in the morning, having been half a second quicker than the rest of the field while on the hard tyre. Fernando Alonso was third quickest. He worked his way through 110 laps, while times tumbled in the final 15 minutes of the session as teams switched to the medium tyres. Nico Rosberg would end up quickest, less than 100th of a second faster than Kimi Räikkönen.
It's an evolution. It's an evolution, significant evolution. You know, at least 80%, maybe more of the parts are new. We're endlessly looking for performance moving forward. We've spent a lot of time developing the car in the wind tunnel. So we're pleased, very pleased.
What point, Mike, did you realise it would be this test and not Jerez that the car would be unveiled?
We planned it from the very beginning. As I say, we didn't want to go to Jerez, and which is a unique circuit, very cold, new tyres. We said, no, let's go there with a baseline car and concentrate on understanding the tyre. We plan. If we said at the end of last year, if Pirelli didn't take a tyre, we wouldn't have gone at all.
You say it's an evolution. Are there any particular areas where there's more significant evolution than others?
Rear suspension. If you look at the rear suspension of the car, we concentrated on aerodynamic performance in the rear suspension, and I think you can see that by the whole tidied up rear end.
And just finally, how has the team been able to absorb Mark's departure and Toto's departure as well?
You have to remember, there's a lot of people who are moving forward in their careers, and we look at it as one door closing, another door opening. We look at it as a tremendous opportunity for some young people, and what you may lose in experience, you certainly make up for in dedication.
So people have moved around. You're not thinking to recruit anyone else in the short term?
No, not at all.
There is a step forward, very positive. I'm very happy for the day. We did a lot of laps today without any big problems in the car, so that is good news. And all the team is quite happy, you know. It's looking much better than the previous two cars in Williams.
You ended the day fastest. I'm sure you don't look at times, probably doesn't matter, but how did you do that? Was it a low fuel run?
Possibly, I'm not sure. No.
They really don't tell you that much.
No, I'm very pleased actually with today. Lap time wise, yeah, I think we're making progress. You know, it's going in the right direction. Of course, I didn't get many laps in. That's a bit of a pity for sure. We need to work on that to get more laps in. A bit too many reliability issues at the moment. But other than that, it's going in the right direction for sure. And the car feels, it feels decent out there. And that's a good start as such.
I feel okay, just the neck a little bit now stiff, but it's normal first day. Whatever neck training you do, the car is a killer on that, and it's always the first day difficult. Depends how many laps you do, but in the first day you do 100 laps in Barcelona, it's a little bit normal. And then feeling with the car was okay, all as expected, more or less.
Brazil car, let's say, so it's more or less the same feeling. I have the same seat, I have the same pedals, I have the same everything. So when you jump in the car, and more or less the performance should be the same as Brazil. It's nothing really surprising you driving. So this is at least something good, not like last year that when we drove for the first time we were
a little bit surprised on the bad side, and nothing. A lot of work to do, a lot of work to do in the next days for the tires, for the aerodynamics, for some new components and experimental things that we have in the car, and we need to keep doing a lot of mileage. That in Jerez we had some mechanical problems, especially with Pedro. We lost one morning, so we need to put some good laps in this test to prove that the car is strong enough to race. I think we need to improve the car a lot compared last year. At the end of the year, we were quite far from Red Bull, from McLaren. We were in a group with Force India, behind Lotus, with Sauber. So we cannot be in that group. We know that. We need to be in the group of the leaders, and for that we need to do a good job this winter. Now we are trying some parts in the car. We will try more in the late test, and more that will arrive directly to Australia. So Friday in Australia will be also important, and we need to arrive in a better position that we finish. But the others, our competitors, are doing also very good job, and will be interesting. My only my only optimist about this 2013 is that I fight for the championship last year with a car that it was 2 seconds off the pace in winter, and in the first 4 races we were out of Q3 all 4 races. We were position 7 in China, 9th in Bahrain. So even with all those problems in the car, we fight for the World Championship. So I think this year, to improve the start of last year, maybe it's not so difficult. So we need to be positive and think that we will fight this year again for the championship if we improve a little bit the car.
All its signs are at the moment that it's very tight, and the usual culprits look like they're going to be there, and it's so difficult to read too much into testing times. You know, everybody's running to their own agendas, and but what you can say is by the time we get to Melbourne, it's going to be very, very close.
Okay. So what is this test, the middle test, particularly about? I guess the first test, you want to get rid of the gremlins. The final test, fine-tuning for Melbourne. What do you do here?
Well, again, learn more about the car, and you know, we've got some quite a lot of components that we want to try out here, and to learn more about the RB9, and you know, there'll be a bit of practice pit stop work as well, so to blow away the winter cobwebs there. But it's an opportunity. Every opportunity you get to run on track, you've got to learn, you've got to, you know, capitalize on, and you know, these 4 days here are, you know, vital in our preparation towards the first race in Melbourne.
In terms of what Adrian's doing, he's talked about only being able to add, I don't know, little advantages, little upgrades to the car over the course of the year. Does that kind of thing fire his imagination as much as maybe working on the 2014 project? How are you going to split his time over the course of this year?
Well, it's a matter of balancing all the resource throughout the company, and of course 2014 is a big change, and already you know, the designers have got half an eye on that, but also we've got, you know, 2013 to deal with, and to develop this car all the way to the end of the year. So it's going to be a very, very busy year, and you know, 2014 is significant regulation changes, and we've had a period of stability with the rules. So you know, we're getting into diminishing returns on the current car. So the devil is very much in the detail on the current car, whilst looking at you know, blue sky technologies and development for the 2014 car.
Would it be harder for Sebastian to win a 4th straight title than it was for Michael Schumacher, given the kind of competition we have at the moment?
Well, things are different these days. You know, everybody has the same tyre. The testing's limited. You know, it's a much more constricted set of regulations than compared to you know, Michael's time. But you know, it's going to be massively tough. I think there's a halcyon period in Formula One. The quality of drivers is simply superb at the moment, and you know, Sebastian to have achieved 3 World Championships already is something quite remarkable. But you know, he's going to be pushing extremely hard to try and you know, retain that trophy for another year.
I think obviously it's still a little bit too cold for the tires to work properly. I think you see it for everyone. Yeah, quite tough to keep the tires alive for many laps, but I think so far we can be quite happy with what we did. Obviously yeah, we're not comparing to anyone at this stage. It's still a little bit too early. For sure, we have done a lot of improvement. You cannot compare to the car that we had here 1 year ago, because now the regulations are more or less the same. So what we have here is more or less the car we had in Brazil, just another step forward. So I think we improved the car a lot during the last season. So I'm much happier this year here than I was last year. Obviously now we are in winter testing. It's about to do our homework, but surely it's only a couple of weeks, and we head off to Melbourne. So yeah, looking forward to start again and to be on the grid there.
Is there much new on the car at the moment? Sorry, as you said that. Is there much new on the car today?
No, not really. I don't think there's anything you saw, and there wasn't much that we put on the car either. So as I said, it's probably a little bit boring right now, as in there's nothing exciting happening, but it's very important for us to just put mileage on the car. We had a little bit of a software issue this morning. I think many teams had. There was an update coming for the electronics, and as we used the same electronics throughout the pit lane, I think it took a while, but other than that, nothing.
By the end of this week, we might know a bit more. I mean, we've seen Fernando here now as well, and is this still a good circuit to judge how good a car is over the course of a season?
Yeah, I think it is. It is. It has always been, but now you need to be careful because it's too cold. As simple as that. Obviously, we still want to understand the tires, and in these conditions, it's tricky. Everyone is suffering the same kind of problem.
So lots of interesting views there, particularly Fernando Alonso's not so ecstatic verdict on his new car, but we've maybe saved the best interview of the day till last. It is the Kimi Räikkönen interview. Kimi's coming in now. Kimi, how was your day? What did you learn about the car today?
We did some running and tried a few different tires and setups and pretty normal stuff, but we had some issues, not with the car really. Okay, it's a car, but it's a data logging system, and we lose data and we cannot run, so that's really the main issue.
Basically, we've established that it's quick.
But yeah, of course, it's hard to say what the other teams are doing, but we're pretty happy how it goes. There are some issues that we have to fix, and we can definitely go faster, but not too bad.
Yeah. With the temperatures today being a little bit cool, is it hard to get decent tire data?
We had to do short runs because the problems with the data we had, but it wasn't too bad. I think this tire seems to be a bit more easy to work in the colder conditions than the last years.
Is this circuit overall still a good guide to where you might be in the first half of the season?
I don't know where we are.
In terms of learning from what you have here?
For sure it's better here than it was in Jerez because we're gonna race here, so it definitely gives us a better idea. But usually last year we saw the car was pretty good everywhere, and I don't see a reason why we couldn't be pretty good with this car. But is it good enough? I have no idea.
Just a final word. Is your hunger for a second title the same as your hunger was for a first? No answer. Fair enough. Okay.
How do you feel about being back?
There you go. I think maybe the answer itself, maybe a bit of disrespect for that question from Kimi Räikkönen. Obviously the hunger still is there for a second title. Well, that is it from day one here at the second pre-season test here in Barcelona. But don't forget, join us again for all the reaction to day two right here on Sky Sports F1 HD. And don't forget, you can get hourly updates live from Sky Sports News